Hey everyone, welcome to day one of the Vows 5-Day Challenge. I am so excited that you have signed up to receive these videos over the next 5 days that are going to teach you just some basic principles about ways to improve your marriage. And I firmly believe that if you will invest in these principles daily, that your marriage will improve in the week and that you'll sow some great seeds into your marriage. So thank you for signing up. I was blown away to see how many people have signed up for this week, and I think it shows that people are ready to invest in the most important human relationship in their life, the relationship with their spouse. And the bedrock belief of this series is simply this: God desires for you to have a great marriage. That's it. You know, so many times we don't hear that in the stresses of life, and our marriages die a slow death by 1,000 cuts. And we just drain slowly away, and we lose the intentionality, and we just get busy. By choosing to invest in our marriages, we can create the God's desire of a great marriage. There is nothing better than when marriages are going great. There's also nothing lonelier than when marriages are struggling and are broken. We use the image of a hospital about where do you think that your marriage fits into the hospital? Is it in the ER? Is it in a critical care unit? Is it in the place where you think, I don't know if this is going to make it? Or maybe yours is going good and you're just at the place where you just need a regular checkup to make sure that you're investing in your marriage. Regardless, these principles will help bad marriages become better, help good marriages become great, help great marriages become even greater. It's not always rocket science, these principles, but it is a matter of choosing to intentionally do them on a daily basis that you can see your marriage improve. Today's principle on day one talks about the 90-10 principle. It states that your spouse is 90% of what you hoped for in a spouse, but they're also 10%, they're not what you hoped for in a spouse. No person on the planet can be 100% of what you wanted or hoped for in a spouse. But before marriage, we are so excited how our spouse, future spouse, checks so many of the boxes of what you hope for. And we focus on that 90%, and we're so elated and so thankful and so glad. But then we get married, and the longer it goes, if we're not careful, suddenly we can focus on the 10% our spouse is not. And what we focus on will grow. If I'm focused with Thanksgiving on their 90%, that will grow. If I'm focused in the seat of judgment on the 10% they are not, cannot, and will not be, that will grow too. And it's in that 10% when I focus on it, can really sow some seeds of bitterness, disappointment, and future rejection. In fact, this is a place where divorces, affairs can really happen. Because when I see who my spouse isn't, I can look to fulfill that through other people who are that 10%. And this is really where couples must be intentional to focus and give thanks for who their spouse is. Today's challenge is simply this: make a list of 21 things that you are thankful for about your spouse. Regardless if you feel like your marriage is awful or whether you feel like your marriage is great, make a list of 21 things that you're thankful for about your spouse. Be specific. Could be about their character, their work ethic, their appearance. Could be about things they do for you. Regardless, make that list, and for the next 3 weeks or 21 days, in the morning, I want you to wake up and read that list. And as you read that list in the morning, you are setting your mindset to give thanks for who your spouse is and not sit on the judgment seat of who your spouse is not. Paul wrote to the church in Thessalonica, and he says, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." Give thanks all circumstances. That means if your marriage is awful, that still fits in all circumstances. Or if your marriage is great, that still fits in all circumstances. We'll find that as we continue to give thanks for who our spouse is, it will change our own heart. It will change our own lens that we see our spouse. We'll feel maybe if we have a cold heart toward our spouse that it will start to soften. Find a time over the next 7 days to meet with your spouse when you both are awake and alert and can have a quiet moment together to share your list with your spouse. Maybe your spouse shares 5 at a time, you share 5 at a time. Let me give you a word of caution though. Many times it's hard to receive a compliment from our spouse. And I've seen when one spouse is sharing the compliment, the other one will be like, no, but I'm not really that, or oh, I do this and this. Just receive the compliment. Even if you got them fooled and that's not who you are, be thankful they think you're that. Receive the compliment. And let this be a time to realize that your spouse is thankful for who you are and not just you being thankful for who they are. In the midst of giving thanks for the 90% of who they are, you will take a gigantic step toward God's desire of having a great marriage.